now, listen up.
3, 2, 1.
It's showtime. That's great. This is ridiculous.
99.3 The Truth.
You can't handle the truth. Right now.
Ooh. That was the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Let's do it.
Hit it.
It's time for Mac's World.
And here we go.
Everybody, let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Call Mac 244-0077 or text 809-0993.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Exclusively on 99.3 The Truth.
7 minutes after 3 o'clock on the 25th day of July in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Give that mic a little up there, would you, cowboy? Jebediah? Turn the mic up just a little for me. All right, thank you. Monday, back in the saddle again. Weiss and Merkel in the second hour as we talk about something that's really important, 401ks. And how many people go from a job to a job to a job and they roll them over and they never check on them and the fees change and the interest rates change. And anyway, they're going to do a free thing today. So if you've got a 401k or you know somebody that does, listen up. All right, I've got some news stories that I want to talk about today, local. And then later on in the hour, I put some personal information on Facebook last Saturday about a medical condition that I have, and it finally got to the point where I had to start telling people about it because otherwise they were going to get surprised. And so I'm going to ask you to if you don't care, that's okay, but I'm going to tell you about it on later on in the hour. So we'll do that in a little bit. Of course, I have the team of just amazing broadcasters surrounding me. Jebediah, of course. And everybody else is just part of the zoo, so we're glad to have everybody here. Chris Roloff. Do you have an official title? I mean, are you Vice President, General Manager, CEO, FO, RIT, Goomba, Bubba, hello?
Of my office, yes.
Of your office?
Yes, I am the great king of my office.
We could call him board game connoisseur.
We could. We could also call him Grouchy Pants.
Yeah, that's what it says on my door, my office.
What does it say on your door?
Grouchy Pants is in. Do not disturb.
Well, are you grouchy?
I'm easily distracted, so sometimes when in the afternoon when lots of folks show up, I sometimes shut my door so I can attempt to focus.
So we think you're grouchy, but you're not really. You're just ADD.
I have adult onset attention what?
Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, is here, and he's got some great chats and great texts that he's going to share with you today because you're going to send them in. 515-809-0993. And I want to talk about bicycles again today. You know, we talked about bicycles the other day. Everybody's crazy in Iowa over bicycles. Got to have lanes, got to have trails, gotta. And then somebody died on Ragbri. And somebody was drugged by a truck in his tent. And that was just day one. So don't you think we got to get rid of bike rides? I mean, seriously, right? I mean, that's the way the liberal side works. You get rid of the thing that isn't responsible for the thing that kills somebody. So if nobody was on bicycles, then nobody could get killed on a bicycle, right? I mean, we need bicycle control. Now, Schwinn's going to fight it. You know that.
And in the NBA, the National Bicycle Association.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to fight it, their lobby.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be huge in Congress. Lots of money poured out.
Yeah.
We just all need to live in a bubble so nobody ever gets hurt.
Well, I unfortunately, I don't have any bleeding heart liberals that listen to this radio station, and if they do, they hide. But I'd love to have a bleeding heart liberal call me up and tell me why we shouldn't ban bicycles. We want to ban guns, right?
Mac,
because the gun killed somebody. It wasn't the guy holding the gun.
Mac, it was a truck that has to be banned.
No. It's the bicycle. Because if he wasn't on the bicycle.
No, but the truck hit the bicycle.
But we can't ban trucks. I mean, think of little boys. You know, what would they play in the dirt with?
I'm just saying.
Barbie cars?
It was the vehicle that killed the guy.
No, I think it
wasn't the person driving.
I think this abuse that we as a society are going through with bicycles. I think it needs to be over with. We can walk. We don't need to. How come Ragbri can't be the great walk across Iowa?
Oh, that would take a long time.
Well, so what? Maybe it's just walk across Clive. Clive's only like 14 miles wide.
I could do that in a couple of days.
Yeah. So you could do that in a day, a couple of days.
Well, you got to take a break, have lunch, have some coffee in the afternoon.
And, of course, Frank the Verse Thomas is here. Frank's such a good friend. Every Monday I walk in and how was your weekend? And you seemed a little sideways last Friday. I didn't seem a little sideways last Friday.
You were sideways.
I was darn sideways.
That's right.
That's what we say in Nebraska when you're just kind of upset.
And I observed today you got a lot more pep in your step.
I had pep in my step last Friday. It was just angry pep.
Yes, that's true.
Today it's just ornery and happy pep.
You left here
immediately
after making a pretty abrasive phone call.
Yeah, and you know where I went?
Probably to go follow up on that phone call.
You bet I did. And one of these days, when this business transaction that I'm in the middle of right now is over with, we're going to talk about it. I need to warn my listeners that there's a company in town you do not do business with. Now, you'll decide on your own, but I'm just going to tell you my personal experience. But we're going to wait on that. All right, Dateline, Shenandoah, Iowa. A RAGBRI. Do you know what RAGBRI stands for?
Not officially, no.
Registers.
Yeah.
Annual Great Bike Ride Across Iowa.
There you go.
RAGBRI. So what it would be the Register's Annual Great Walk Across Iowa. So it'd be RAG W-A-I. What? Give me the sound for W-A-I.
Well, if it's Bri, might as well be Y.
Why? So it's RAGY?
RAGY.
It's the RAGY. A RAGBRI rider was flown to an Omaha hospital yesterday evening with life-threatening injuries after a pickup truck hit and dragged him in the tent that he was inside of while camping. James Foley of Jacksonville, Florida, was in his tent at the 59er Motel and Campgrounds in Shenandoah, Iowa, the great home of Earl May, when a pickup truck hauling a trailer went off the driveway and struck him at about 11:30. Devastating, said Matt Coleman, one of the Foley's teammates. Our prayers and thoughts are with him and his family. The driver of the truck... Oh, Bob, it's another truck.
Band trucks.
Maybe you're on to something. Anybody in this place drive trucks? You don't drive... Oh.
SUV.
Well, yeah, you're going to be walking. The driver of the truck, Danny Carden, 55, of Homer, Louisiana, continued to drive his Ford F-250 for 50 feet until he stopped at his campsite, dragging Foley in the tent. He was charged with serious injury by vehicle and leaving the scene of a serious injury accident. He was being held Monday afternoon in the Fremont County Jail. Well, wait a minute. Can I? Is he alive? Did this guy live? So can I make a joke? Well, I don't want. Well, but I mean, really, the guy driving the truck, he didn't leave the scene of the accident. He took it with him.
Sure. Yeah. That's what made it so terrible. Was this guy intoxicated or just goofy?
No, I don't think so. They didn't charge him. They just said Authorities were still waiting Monday for the results of a blood test.
Oh, okay.
The first day of RAGBRI was already rough on Foley. On Saturday, he brought fellow Jacksonville resident Wayne Easel's bicycle to him. Early on Sunday, Easel was killed. That's freaky. A cyclist was... This is another story. But Wayne Easel, 72, of Jacksonville, Florida, was westbound when a pickup truck hit him from behind about 6:40 in the morning. Rob Philippus, 34, of Glenwood, was the driver of the truck. The Iowa State Patrol is investigating to determine whether any charges should be filed. The driver was just going down the road and didn't see the biker. See?
Do you know also what they were doing at that time in the morning? They were honoring bicyclists that were killed.
Really?
In crashes. Yes.
That's
That's just a good. I mean, we've got to be. I've noticed that there's two things, and this is not intended to be funny, but driving around Iowa, there's two things you got to be watching out for. You got to watch out for cyclists, and you got to watch out for deer. One is far more valuable than the other. Cyclists are very important. But it's. How do you not see a cyclist even at 6:40 in the morning? The sun's up by then.
Well, but if they were heading east at 6:40 in the morning, that sun is right in your eyes.
It might be right in your face. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
oh man, it's dangerous to get out there on a bike. What a terrible thing though for that to be happening while they're honoring those kind of victims. And now, the way you said this news story, both these people were friends and from Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
All the way up here to ride in RAGBRAI.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's ban RAGBRAI.
No. I mean, but, that's...
But, hey, come on. Let's think like liberals here for a second. I want to be a little cranky. What would liberals do? They'd try to ban something, wouldn't they? Yeah. Oh, we can't have motorcycle races, or we can't have car rides, or we, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I'm sure, I wonder if the board or the folks behind RAGBRAI are going to take some time to think about ways that they can better secure those pathways, the roads that the cyclists are on. I don't know what kind of preparation they do. It's a long bike ride. It's all the way across the state, so they can't close off those roads.
The only thing you could do is shut down certain segments of highway that they were particularly traveling on, but you still got cross sections that you'd have to block off ever so often.
Jill was telling me it was called the Mile of Silence. That was where he was at, the Mile of Silence, to honor everybody who had died on RAGBRAI. And what happens? Somebody dies. I'm not against RAGBRAI. I'm not against bicycles. I'm not even against trucks. I'm just against low information voters. All right, we're coming back. What else is going on? Another guy died. And 2 cops found innocent.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
.321, 21 minutes after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Glad to have you with us. Weiss Merkel, later on. Get your questions ready for your 401ks and your retirement plans. We want to hear from you. 515-244-0077, or you can text us at the Service Legends Truth text line at 515-809-0993. We have a text from Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, watching the chat and the text.
Yeah, we do have a text, and it's about banning sugar beet trucks. Okay, here it is.
Hold on, banning what?
Sugar beet. Okay,
hold on. Sugar beet?
Yes.
Like the plant?
Yeah. Let me read it.
Okay.
Sugar beet harvest is a busy time up in Minnesota. Trucks are all over the place. A bicyclist wrote a letter to the editor in Fargo Forum and asked that the sugar beet trucks slow down and have more courtesy towards bicyclists. Apparently, one of the trucks kicks up some dirt and got him in the face.
Oh, goodness.
It just seems like bicyclists are trouble all over the country. I mean, it's like illegal immigration. I mean, seriously, everybody has a problem with bicyclists. I'm being very sarcastic, very, very sarcastic. I'm tired of the liberals demanding all these bicycle rights, trails, lanes in the middle of our highway, a big bike ride across Iowa. How many people ride on that? I don't know. 10, 12,000? And we got somebody killed on the first day. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a bicyclist, so I'm very, very biased. I'm not unbiased.
Has there been a brag bride that we've ran successfully that someone hasn't been killed? I'd be interested to know that.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure there probably was. I mean, especially rural roads. Rural roads in Iowa are tractors, trucks, trailers. I mean, this last guy that died, 6:40 in the morning. Was that what time it was? 6:40 in the morning. Coming up a hill, hit the guy in the back and killed him. I mean, 6:40 in the morning, you can pretty much know where the sun is. They're heading east. We know that. Sun comes up in the east. 6:40 in the morning, he was blinded by the light.
The most two dangerous times to drive is when the sun is rising and when the sun's setting.
All right. All right, let's go to Des Moines. 59-year-old man was shot to death while Oh no, I can't believe this. I did not make this up. I printed this from the headline. I have not read it. You tell him I'm not lying.
He's not lying.
Okay. A 59-year-old man was shot to death while riding his bicycle Sunday morning on Des Moines' west side. Officers responded to the area of 45th Street in Kingman. Boy, that's a good neighborhood. Just after 4:30 in the morning, after being called about gunshots. A second 911 caller told police that somebody had been shot and was laying in the intersection. When officers arrived, they found Dennis Strable of Des Moines shot to death. Detectives were called to investigate. Strable was riding a bicycle when he died, and police believe that was his primary mode of transportation. What difference does that make? A bicycle could be seen in the street within the blocked-off crime area Sunday. On Sunday afternoon, police were trying to piece together what led to the shooting. There are some gaps in some of Strable's movements before the shooting, and things that we'd like to know about that may inform us as to why he's in that area, and also might figure out why the suspect was in that area. Detectives have interviewed people who were in the area at the time of the shooting. And they have had some investigative leads, but police are asking members of the public to come forward with any information on Strable. If you go online, you can see a picture of Strable. Strable's body was taken to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy. Okay, 45th and Kingman. Man, that's 3 blocks north of Roosevelt High School. That is a good area right there by Waveland Golf Course. I keep running into bike stories. Let me see if I can find. I've only got 2 stories left. 2 Boone police officers had to make a split-second decision on whether to fire upon a 28-year-old man who was wielding an airsoft gun when he raised at officers, authorities said. Boone County Attorney Daniel Kolaska ruled that Police Sergeant Nathan Keister and Officer Joseph Slight used quote-unquote reasonable force against Michael Irvin Disbrow, who appeared to raise a gun from his waistband and pointed at the officers.
Now, if you remember this story, this is we talked about this the day that it happened.
Yeah.
So this is now kind of the official ruling. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, this is the official ruling by the Boone County Attorney. DCI Special Agent Michael Montzinger. Do you know him?
Yes.
Okay, good guy?
Yes.
He showed pictures of Disbrow's airsoft gun compared to the real 9mm handgun during a news conference. I don't know why. The manufacturers are making these airsoft guns to look identical to real guns. It makes our job a lot harder when you're facing down the barrel of a gun not knowing whether it's real or not. With guns like this, officers are hesitating, and it could cost more people their life because in the back of their thinking, it is real, it is not real. Is it real? Is it not real? Could it kill me?
Well, they showed the videotape of this taking place.
Okay.
And you can hear the officers telling him to put his weapon down, to get down. And, I mean, they were yelling and warning him, put it down, put it down, put it down. And so he was acting like he was racking around into the chamber.
Yeah.
And then he pulls it up and points it at him and starts coming toward him. So even though he knew it was an airsoft weapon, he did the wrong thing.
Well, and isn't that called suicide by cop?
Sure.
Isn't that what we'd call that, suicide by cop?
Are you saying the officers knew it was an airsoft gun?
No, the officers didn't.
Okay.
Bob was saying that the gentleman who was shot knew that he was holding an airsoft gun, yet he refused to cooperate with the police officers and put the gun down. Furthermore, he pulled the gun out and actually aimed it at the police officers and moved forward with them. So the victim here, not the victim, the person who's now dead, was very foolish. I mean, they made a choice to be aggressive towards the police officers with a gun that was not a real gun. I mean, that's just,
But you cannot tell the difference.
Is it right?
Why did they make them? Why? I mean, I'm a conservative. I'm a Jesus freak. For heaven's sakes. Why can't we make a law saying you can't make a gun? And why can't we make a law that says all fake guns have to be red?
They tried in California.
Really?
A couple of years ago. Yeah, I was actually into airsoft a little bit as a kid. They're designed to look real. They call it for MilSim, military simulation. Where they go and play these games, particularly in California. There's a lot of fields out there, and they simulate military operations with these guns. So it's all part of the look. They dress in camo and gear and all that stuff, and so making them red kind of defeats that purpose of military simulation.
So
they do have orange tips.
So it's training exercise, right?
Yeah, even military trains with airsoft guns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who said something about the orange tip?
I did.
Well, I thought all fake guns were supposed to have some sort of a fluorescent orange tip in them.
They do.
But you can take it out.
You could take it out.
Or you
but,
take your black
you
magic
could make
marker.
the gun red, but then you could also spray paint it black if you wanted to.
So, in other words, the guy was doing this with purpose.
Yes.
That's the way it appears.
It's called suicide by cop. Come on, let's just call it what it is.
That's the way it appears.
We're all being way too nice. This is not your grandmother's talk radio station. This is the truth. The truth is this guy, for whatever reason, wanted the cops to kill him. I mean, what? Somebody else here. We'll open up the table. Ladies and gentlemen, we now will open to this part of the program for listener comment. Why else would the man take a gun that looks identical to a real one, pull it out of his pants, cock it, point it at the officers, and begin to walk towards him? Okay, panel number one, Chris Roloff, what's your thought?
Because he wanted to get to the other side of the road? Is that the right?
right, Mr. Thomas there. Frank
Well,
Diverse.
I'm saying either he was a lunatic or he was wanted to die.
Ding, 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 ding. On the second part, Mr. Montserrat, you can have your choice. As a scientist, we'd like to hear what you have to say.
Well, you don't even have to be a scientist to figure that out. But yeah, it's this is not uncommon for this to happen.
Really? Why?
Well, because people want to go out in a blaze of glory, as opposed to just committing suicide on their own.
I know, but gee, Minnie, our cops already have a hard enough time dealing with stuff like this. Why do they? I mean, these two cops, they're never going to forget about this.
The guy that wouldn't be able to pull the trigger holding the gun to his own head or in his own mouth would rather have the cops do it, because then at least he wouldn't know when the bullet was coming.
I mean, just think about these cops. These are neighbors. These are fathers. These are sons. These are husbands. These are brothers. I just think it's a horrible thing, but it just shows where the accuser is in this world. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jebediah. You have the last chance. Is it suicide by cop or not?
I don't know. Maybe he's playing Pokemon Go.
Okay.
He thought the cops were Pokemon. He was trying to catch them. Oh, that's just bad.
If you're a police officer, please know that we love you. We care about what you do out there. You've probably pulled me over for something in the past, and thank you for doing that. I'm sure I was doing something wrong. Please, please, please keep doing your job and tell us what we can do. I must have seen, I don't know, 4 or 5 cops this weekend, and I went up to every single, well, one of them came up to my window and asked for my driver's license, but the other ones I went up to, and I thanked them for doing what they're doing.
I tell you, Mac, I've been through some of that training when I was a younger person, working for the state. And they put out different scenarios, big screen in front of you, you have a weapon, and then you have to decide, is this a good guy, is this a bad guy? Is he going to shoot you? Or, shoot, don't shoot scenarios. And I tell you what, a lot of times you get blown away because you hesitate.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to actually, take you out. So it's easy to look at a video that somebody's taking, but most of the time it's after the fact. You never see what's really going on. You don't see every angle, and that's why they do investigations. They investigate every angle. They interview every witness. They look at the weapon that was used and try to determine if that was the weapon that the bullet actually hit the person. You can match it to the gun itself. And so there's a lot to do there to make sure that this is investigated. But you know what? People don't give them a chance. They make a decision based on a video without knowing all of the facts. And so the thing is, you need to know the facts before you make any kind of decision.
That's the thing, Bob. I feel like as a society, we've well lost that. I mean, people make emotional reactions immediately from something that they see, and they're convinced in their own mind. And once somebody becomes convinced of a situation in their own mind, there's no swaying them.
Right. That's right. And if you notice, many of these situations with shoot, don't shoot are good shoots. It comes out that everything that was done by the officers was correct in accordance to the way they were trained and so forth. And they didn't break a law. But believe me, people judge police officers before any of the facts come out. And that's why I'm saying I have to see the evidence. I have to see the facts before I make a judgment call. And if it was a bad shoot or if it was not, then we're going to know that, and then that person's going to be prosecuted.
All right, let's take our second break, and I've got one more story I want to share with you about 2-year-old Mason Wyckoff. Perhaps you've heard this story. It's so sad. And then this is just the way I live. There's not much difference between my personal life and my professional life. I think a good talk show host does that. I have a crisis going on in my life. I made it public on Saturday on social media. And now the most important people in my life, those people that listen to the show every day and call me friend, I'll share it with you. That's coming up next.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fix them problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
3:38, 22 minutes before the top of the hour. Top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News, and then Weiss Merkel Finance. Lauren and James will be in. Going to ask you to call in and ask questions. Chris, are you doing that show?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so Chris is gonna host that show because he has questions that I think are probably some of the same questions our listeners have. I understand retirement. I understand that kind of stuff, and I think I may be. Anyway, Chris is going to do it today, so I appreciate that. All right, now this is strange, and this may be something you want to call in on, because there's something fishy here. Candles, flour, and a stuffed Elmo doll sat on the steps of 303 Northwest Valley Drive on Sunday, a very different scene from the police tape and crime investigator surrounding the house just this past Friday afternoon when 2-year-old Mason Wyckoff was found dead. As the sun set in Grimes on Sunday night, family and friends of the toddler gathered outside the home to honor his life. They released blue balloons with messages that read, "Fly high with the angels, sweet Mason. Fly high." Blue was his favorite color and the color of his special blanket. About 60 people, including a few Grimes first responders and police officers, attended to honor the life of the little blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy they lost too soon. I'm not super religious, and my family is not super religious. Meg Viola, cousin of Mason's father, Dylan Wyckoff, said as she led the group through a prayer. But we know that little Mason is in heaven. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Mason Wyckoff, too, was found dead Friday morning It is home at 303 Northwest Valley View Drive in Grimes. He was such a sweetheart, said Mason's grandmother, Michelle Cunningham. He was such a thinker and would have such a serious face, like he was contemplating something, but he was just so full of love. Dylan Wyckoff, who is Cunningham's son, told the Des Moines Register on Saturday that Mason was his world and that the two were best friends, even during his custody battle with Stephanie Erickson, who is his former girlfriend and Mason's mother. Okay. Where's the rest of the story? Where's the rest of the story? Why did Mason die? And why don't they say that the mother is in critical condition in a Des Moines hospital? They don't talk about they're looking for suspects. They don't talk about evidence. They don't talk about eyewitnesses. They don't talk about any of this. Why? Let's go to Bob, who is a former, what I always call you a DCI investigator.
I just was a criminalist in the crime laboratory.
All right. Now, I don't want you to say anything to get anybody in trouble, but, unpack this for us.
Well, if you look at the situation, there is no fire. There's nothing that is obvious or was obviously mentioned as to circumstances surrounding the death and circumstances surrounding a person that's, I don't know if that person's in critical condition or what. Did you say critical? But I had to call. Well, I just found out. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah, she's in the hospital. She's in critical condition. Right. So there's no information, and so it makes you wonder what the circumstances may have been. And so, as an investigator, I'd be investigating. I guess as though I would be interviewing the people, neighbors, and the family or connections, and so forth.
But I don't understand why that's not being talked about.
Well, you think the reporters would, a person that is a journalist would want to seek out the reason for it. And we don't have that. We're not seeing anything like that.
Right. We're not seeing any of this.
Right. So it's questionable as to why.
Well, all right. Can I speculate?
Sure.
Is that okay, boss? Can I speculate? Okay. Well, wait, you were going to say something.
I was going to say it wouldn't be the first time.
So this is very important, what I'm about to say. The opinions that you are about to hear are those of me, J. Michael McCoy, Mac. They are not KTIA's. They are not the Truth Network. And they are not anyone in this room. So if you're going to find displeasure in me speculating, then find it with me. Don't blame the station. Don't call the radio station and chew on Chris. Because under his breath, he's going, speculate, 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 speculate. Because that's what we do on talk radio. I don't know these people. I don't know anything about them. I don't even think I know anybody who knows them. So I know nothing. I know nothing. Just like Sergeant Schultz. I don't know anything. So that's why this is called speculating. Now, why isn't anybody talking about suspects? Why isn't anybody talking about, why is the father who's in a custody battle with his, I don't know if it's his ex-wife or not, maybe they were never married, but with the baby's mother, why isn't it even said that investigators are not considering him a suspect in this crime? Why? Here's my speculation. She killed her son. Because she was in a custody battle with her ex. And she said, if I can't have him, nobody's going to have him. So she tried to do a murder-suicide. She did the murder just fine, but the good Lord didn't want her to kill herself because she's going to be held responsible for her actions. That's my speculation. Now, my speculation, Robert, not on this situation. Man, woman, has a baby, not getting along. Baby is in a custody battle. One of the parents is found critically injured, and the child is dead as a criminalist. Does that sound reasonable to say that the parent who is critically injured murdered the child and botched their own suicide?
That's a possibility, for one. Or it could be another person could have gone in there and tried to commit murder, of two people, but didn't carry through on the second person. See what I'm saying? So that's another possibility. So as an investigator, like you are, Mac, me being curious, you would want to know and try to figure out every single different, scenario as to what happened and how it happened. So,
well,
but then you would look for things like forced entry, etc. So, I mean, the cops know what's going on, and she's likely a suspect because she's probably still hospitalized. They're not making it.
She is still hospitalized.
They're not making it public yet.
I checked a little bit after 2 o'clock. She's still listed in critical condition. And the other thing they're not saying is they're not saying anything about funeral services for the child. I mean, he's dead. That was Friday. This is Monday. They certainly have made the funeral plans.
Right. And the child would go through an autopsy just to determine the cause of death. Right. And that would be helpful for the investigation.
Well, anyway, I don't know what I'm frustrated at. I don't know if I guess I'm frustrated as a journalist because this leaves everybody wondering. Who killed the baby? What happened to the mom? Who are the suspects? When is the funeral? None of this is being said. Why? Who are they trying to protect? Here, let's go down that road. We've got 1 minute till break. Who are they trying to protect here?
Well, it may just be in a state of speculation like we're doing here without any facts. So they have to go in and try to see if there's any evidence that would prove a theory. So if you have a theory, you have to try to prove it with evidence or, via what's there physically or through people that know the situation.
I mean, based on what her injuries are, you're going to know whether they're self-inflicted or not.
Possibly.
In 3 days? Okay.
And if there is a real suspect, they don't want to scare the suspect off.
Okay, that's the news for today. When we come back, Mac's journey. It's going to be tough on me, so please be patient. Coming back.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common, everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
3:50, 10 minutes before the top of the hour. 25th day of July in the Lord's year 2016. So, I have to admit something to you. Y'all know that I didn't know Jesus until about 5 years ago. So when somebody told me I should take care of my body because it's the temple, I just thought that was something wacky you Christians said, right? And I, after I got my driver's license, because that's not true. Probably before I turned 30, I was in great shape. I just was. I didn't take an aspirin. I didn't drink any alcohol. I wasn't on any prescriptions. I wouldn't even take aspirin if I got a headache. I just was that way. Probably weighed 185, 190 pounds. I actually remember going over 200 pounds and thinking, this is asinine. There's no way I should weigh 200 pounds. But, as some of you know my story and some of you don't, I thought I was going to be dead at 53, and that was just something that was placed in my head. I know now by God, and I know why he placed it there. Guess what year Jesus mugged me? My 53rd year. Why did Jesus need to tell me since I was 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock, 6 or 7 or 8, 9 years old, that I was going to be dead at 53? Because I would spend my entire life as a Christian wondering, worrying, asking for forgiveness for all the times that he called me and I missed it. Because I'm just that kind of a crazy guy. And so I believe in my heart that the reason I knew I was going to be dead at 53 was because in my 53rd year, I died to self and surrendered to Christ. And if you know me, if you want to hear the story sometime, I'll be glad to sit down with you because it's a Jesus story and it's nothing I could even make up. So needless to say, I didn't take very good care of my body. Now, I never smoked. I smoked cigars a little bit, but not really. But I drank for 16 years and I drank hard. I don't exercise. I eat pretty good, except I like buffets. So I guess maybe I don't eat very good, huh? But I've never been a pop guy. You've never seen me drink a can of pop. I don't remember the last time I had a glass or a can of pop. I drink water, maybe a little milk. Now I drink a little coffee every once in a while when I'm up early in the morning. But I don't eat donuts. We have free donuts every Thursday at my men's group. I've been there for almost 6 years, and I have never had a donut. Have you ever, Chris, help me out here. I need a witness here. Bob,
Well, you can bring the leftovers in if you want.
Yeah, okay. Well, I probably could.
No, we've had donuts here at the studio before, and I don't think you eat any, but I don't know. You brought donuts for us. That was very generous.
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day leftover donuts, I remember that.
And I think that was probably from pigs.
Is that what that was? Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like I abused my body on purpose, but I own every single piece of exercise equipment there is, and I don't use it. In fact, somebody gave me my favorite piece of equipment. What's that called? I always call it the wrong thing. Elliptical? Did I say it right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
It's not eucalyptical.
No, it's where you move your hands like your
feet.
Kind of cross-country skiing looking.
Yeah, and I've got my buds in, and I'm
Nordic track?
Nordic track.
Yeah, and I got my buds in, and I'm listening to my old 80s and 90s country music. And that kind of gets me to go a little slower when it's, Debbie Boone, You Light Up My Life. You light up my... So I'm going real slow. And then like when Travis Tritt comes on and Trouble, man, I'm trucking. I'm sweating. I'm trucking. But I did that for like 3 weeks and got bored with it and quit. So about 90, 120 days ago, I decided I just needed to change something in my life. And so I stopped eating at buffets. That's the first thing I did. The second thing I did, I stopped eating 3 meals a day. I eat breakfast now, almost always, and maybe some lunch if it's business, but I don't have hardly any food in the refrigerator. CJ eats like a mouse, so I don't have anything in there. So a week ago today, I went to my doctor for a 6-month checkup or whatever it is. Oh, and by the way, I'm on 17 pills a day. I'm on antidepressant because I work with Frank. I'm on high blood pressure machine.
Work with Frank.
Would you let me do this, please? I'm on high blood pressure machine because I work with Frank. My blood sugar was high, so I was pre-diabetic because I work with Frank. What else?
Because he's so sweet, right?
And you'd like to drink alcohol because you work with Frank.
My cholesterol was all off, and I have a sleeping aid because I don't sleep very well. Because one of the reasons I drank is because I couldn't sleep, and now that I can't drink, I can't sleep. So the last 90, 120 days, I made an effort. I didn't make a big effort, but I made an effort. And last Monday, I went into my doctor, and we did all the tests and stuff, and tests come back immediately. I don't know how they do that, but they do that. No, it was Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, he called me. I am at the same weight I now was in 1998, so 18 years ago. I'm down 34 pounds, probably 33 today because I had Taste of Hope on Saturday. So I'm down 30 pounds. My blood pressure was almost normal. You know what my blood pressure was 4 years ago? 214 over 120. Yesterday was almost normal. Last week it was almost normal. My blood sugars were down, my whatever was down. And then Z said, we ought to get you a calcium scoring. I said, what the heck's a calcium scoring? Well, they measure if you had any blockage. We could maybe avoid the big one if we did that. Friday afternoon at about 2:30. If you listen to Friday's show, I was kind of out of my sort. Friday afternoon about 2:30, I found out that my calcium score, well, if it's 0 to 200, you're okay. If it's 2 to 300, you probably need stents. If it's 3 to 400, maybe open heart surgery. And over 400, 500, it's trouble. I'm 550.15. And my doctor, who I love, birthed all my grandchildren, gave me the news. This is a problem, Mac. You're going to have some type of heart procedure done on you this week or early next. And been in a lot of prayer. I'm interviewing cardiologists. I know that sounds weird, but I just don't go to a doctor because they have DR in front of their name. I think they're magic. So I interviewed a cardiologist this morning. I'm meeting another one tomorrow, and I'm meeting yet another one on Wednesday. I'm only telling you this because I care about you, and you may not believe me because we've never met, but I do care about you. I love my job, and I can't do it without you, and I don't want you somehow to say, well, boy, we were so unimportant to Mac that he didn't even say something in his radio show. I guess that radio show is just all fake. Well, it's not. It's the real deal. It's Mac's World. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. And all I ask for is your prayers. Pray that I find the right cardiologist and God guides their hands. And if it's a triple bypass, if it's open heart surgery, if it's stents, whatever it is, I just want it to be God's will. And I'm just asking for your prayers. And like always, today, when I go home, I'll ask for forgiveness from somebody I haven't treated well. Because as you forgive, you will be forgiven. I'll promise I'll see you tomorrow.